Good morning and welcome once again. My name is Vanda. I am from Malawi. So this morning I am going to take you through our hydroponic greenhouse farming here in Chileka in Blantyre. So I will start off with the process. How do you grow your seedlings, and how long does it take for it to harvest? So I'm going to take you through all the processes, because for me, I believe that everything that you want to grow starts with the right seedlings and starts with the right sowing, and also how to take care of your seedlings.
All right, so let's go. We are here with Vanda, and we're going to be seeing what she is saying.
Okay, so I am going to start off to introduce what hydroponics is, because this is a method of growing vegetables in a smart way. It's very different from the normal ways of growing vegetables. So I'll start with showing you what hydroponics is, how we take care of our plants, and how we sow our seeds, etc. So this is our hydroponic section. As you can see, it's in a controlled environment. When I mean controlled environment, you can, for those who want to start, you can just have a shade net and make sure that the shade net is actually the right shade net that actually absorbs the right light for the vegetable. So in this shade net here, in this greenhouse, we have what we call the hydroponic system. And these are herbs that you see right here. This is basil. And we've been harvesting this basil for a period of 1 month. And as you can see that it's still growing, it's not maturing, and we will harvest for the next 6 months. So let me define what hydroponic is. So hydroponic is the growing of vegetables without soil. So in the soil, we grow our vegetables, we provide our manure, and the plant we just provide water, and everything, the soil does the job for you. So in that soil, you have all your nutrients, your elements that are required for the growing of the plant. Now, hydroponics is different. Hydroponics now, as you can see, it is the growing of leafy greens or vegetables without soil. So that is the root there. It's a big black because when we grow it, we put a growing media, and obviously some roots turn black. But this is how we grow it. It is the growing of vegetables without soil. And you can see it is actually a big root there, and that's why I say it's been here for over 2 months, and we've been harvesting for over a period of 1 month. And the roots are still growing long, and they are white, and they are healthy. And as you can see, the plant there is quite healthy as well. And then we grow it in a net cup so that it's protected and it doesn't drown, and it holds the plant firmly. So for those, sometimes you don't have a holding a holder to the plant as it grows. I use sometimes a sponge to hold the plant, and sometimes the sponge also absorbs water and keeps the plant moist at all times. Inside here is a hole, and this is a long 6-meter pipe, which is then connected to these little pipes here that are linked to the main tank that just drip in water. And once you drip in water in here, slowly the water then flows into this pipe and all comes out from the other end, and it goes back into the tank. So basically, this system doesn't waste water, doesn't waste nutrients, and it's not even labor intensive. So it's quite a unique way of growing your vegetables. and herbs if you want.
I really find it very interesting, you know, the style that you put in place there. Was it the first that you started in the farm, or maybe this was introduced along the line?
This was introduced at the same time when we brought the 900 square meter greenhouse, because then there we use soil. But this one was actually introduced at the same time because then I wanted to understand. So I used to do small pilots at home, which I went very wrong for many times. But then I decided, no, this thing, you can't just use YouTube. It's important that you understand. For example, sometimes I'll come here and scout. You see, this is a yellow leaf here. If you don't know and you don't understand the fertilizer composition, you wake up one day, everything is yellow like this. So this thing means when the leaves are yellow, that means there is a problem of either pests that are there and I'm scouting them and we have to spray, or either there's also a deficiency. So plants eat like humans. So you need to know what to feed it, how to feed it, when to feed it, how long to feed it for. And it's a bit of biochemistry that you need to understand, but it's not rocket science. You can do it. So it's very important that as a farmer, you need to understand this and you don't just leave it to your workers. You've got to know how to scout, because pest and disease are also a major challenge when it comes to vegetables. And you need to know what to spray, when to spray, how long to spray for, and the scouting, which has to be done manually, has to be consistently. For example, there are certain areas here of the same basil that I have, that I've seen that it's not a nutrient deficiency, but it's a pest. For example, if I look at a leaf that is folding like this is definitely a red spider, but they're very tiny. And what it does, it sucks in it sucks all the juicy parts of your leaf, and then the leaf starts turning yellow. So they hide below the leaf here, and the leaf starts to crumble like that. This is definitely a problem. And as it wrinkles and it starts getting yellow. So we had this problem, and we've sprayed some pesticides, and we are hoping to scout this again and monitor. So this is how it works. It's very intense. You can't, but actually also very rewarding, because if you look at this section, you keep harvesting, and basil is something that people love to use to make pesto, to make salads, to make pasta and things like that. So we have clients who order from us specifically to make pesto. Then I'm going to then take you back into this same greenhouse. I'm going to jump from this section now.
Sorry. Why you are still there? I remember during the interview that we did before, I was asking how you managed to transfer knowledge into people that are working with, because being able to understand what kind of thing is wrong with a particular plant, and to know all these different dynamics that you are involving there, I think someone needs a bit of training. So can you talk about that?
I do train my workers, but there are certain things that they will not understand because of the level of school that they have. So I do the main part. For example, when we are mixing the fertilizer components for this, I know that I have to measure NPK, a certain kg amount. I have to use calcium, I have to use iron, I have to use all kinds of fertilizer combos, so that they are not involved in, because it's quite difficult. Now, what I do is I have the fertilizer, I dilute the fertilizer, I mix the fertilizer, and I give them in 5-liter bottles. And I know that the 5-liter bottles will last me a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how much we have planted, because the more you plant, the more they consume. So what I teach them is either for you to be able to grow your crops to this, and you see the water here, you've got to balance the water. That is pH. So you need to have a gadget that measures your pH. Now your pH will then be reduced. Also, you need to put a chemical to reduce your pH, which is hydrochloric acid. Now the hydrochloric acid will then reduce your pH, and your pH needs to read up to 6.5. Others will use vinegar to drop the pH, and others will use lemon. So a lemon drops the pH of the water. If you don't drop your pH to a certain level, then all the fertilizer nutrients, it's like you choke the plant. It will not be absorbed by the roots. So those are the technical things that you need to teach them. So I talk to them like I'm chatting with them. I don't take them through a class. I have to just demonstrate to them. And then there is the fertilizer composition as well. We need to have an electric connect, and it's called an EC meter. It actually measures the nutrient level of the fertilizer component in the water. So the EC will tell you that no, there's too much or there's too little. So for every vegetables, you need to understand how much you to give it, so that you don't give it too much and you don't give it too little. So they have also a special gadget, so that those gadgets actually make their lives very easy. So they know that by the end of the week, they've got to either add 1 liter or 500 milliliters of fertilizer into the tank. Then that will then bring up the EC of the fertilizer and drop down the pH of the fertilizer. So that process of teaching, constant teaching, is something that I teach here at my farm.
All right. Thank you very much for that. That was important. All right. So yes, we can move to the next one, like you were trying to do before. Yeah, please go. We are watching you and we are following you.
Right. So for me, then I'm going to take you through the other section of our greenhouse, which is also in this greenhouse. So what I want to show you here is everything that we grow, every plant starts with a seedling. Now, if you don't sow your seedling right, with the right temperature, then you are going to waste your seedlings. So we try as much as possible not to waste our seedlings. So for example, this is mustard kale. This is mpiru, we call it mustard. So we have the growing trays. In these growing trays, we have holes, and every tray consists of 200 holes. Now, if you want to make money, you start counting your money from here. This is where you start saying, if I have 200 holes, I need to sow 200 seedlings. And some seedlings will germinate well, others will not germinate well. But if you count, you say, okay, this is 200 holes. I'm going to put 3 seedlings. Others will grow, others will not grow. And then as they grow, you separate. Now, this is the process where it's very critical. So we don't use soil for growing our seedlings. We use coco peat, and we also have a feeding program for the seedlings, because the seedlings need to eat. It's like a baby. You need to feed milk. So we need to feed milk to the seedlings so that they grow. So we even for a seedling to grow, it recovers darkness. Within 3 days, this is what you see here. And then immediately, within hours, she starts turning green.
How do you introduce darkness into the place so that they can grow?
I have these dark trays. You see, this was done yesterday. So there's nothing there. We introduce darkness into the trays, all covered up. So we peep into them. The moment they shoot, that's when we remove, we bring it here. So this is one section. And then immediately, as the light shoots, then you see here that they're now turning green. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're now exposed to light. I wonder what this seedling is. And we need, oh, this is sugar snap peas. This is peas. As you can see, it's shooting up there. And then we mark it. This one is green Mizuna. As you can see, they are also growing. And then from here, we move as they grow. We have we call it the conveyor belt. So we have this section where they have grown a slightly bigger. And then we have this section where now you see it right there.
Wow.
You see, and we are able to tell from here before it goes to the farm. So you don't tell you this, that's why I like to do this at home, because I control. Seedlings are very expensive. We sow about 5,000 seedlings a week. If you see this, oh, this whole section here was done in one day. And then we did that yesterday, and then we have this. So we saw 10 to 15 trays of seedling, and that's count times 200 per tray. That's a lot of seedlings in a day. So this is what you get. This is now our cucumbers. And this is our lettuce that we see here, and this is also this is now squash. This is also a different type of vegetable. So they keep growing. Other seeds are slow, but then this will determine, we will know, okay, we don't have 100% germination, we have a 50% germination. It is meant to be monitored. So this is now section 2. Then I'm going to take you to section
okay,
3.
wait there, because I have a question to ask. You know, I'm just here listening to you, but I have also my own curiosity. Now, how did you get the seed that you plant into the seedling, and who do you sell the seedling to by the time they start to germinate? Like you said, you usually do sell them.
Your question is, who do I sell it to?
Yeah. Who do you sell it to? And the first one was, how do you get the seed that you plant?
Okay, you know, seedlings, you need to know where to buy. I buy from accredited vendors, like Steak Eyes is one of them. So I get my seedlings from different countries, actually, because in Malawi, we don't have that support structure. And because of the type of seedlings that I need, as I said, I don't compete with the local market. I drew seedlings that are not available in the local market where Malawi imports. So I'm trying to bridge that that gap whereby the supermarkets don't import seedlings from us. I mean, don't import vegetables, but we can grow them locally. So I get them from different countries: Germany, the UK, China, Zimbabwe, South Africa. I have all the links because I travel quite a lot and it's very easy. So when you see, I don't, as a being an entrepreneur, you need to know what you're doing. So if I travel to South Africa, I will look at a shoe for 1,000 rands. I'm not going to say, do I need a shoe or do I buy seedlings? So I make sure that 1,000 rand to buy worth seedlings, I can multiply my money 5 times. So for example, if I buy a pair of shoe and I grow this, I buy this for 10 rands or 20 rands, I'll have this section. And then this thing will produce maybe 20 or 15 zucchinis. It's good money. So that's what motivates me the most, actually. This is how you multiply your money. And that's when I said, this is where you start counting your money. You know what you are worth.
No, it's really very interesting, because as we are now getting into the detail of the agricultural process, because of course we did a lot in talking about the research and all that. Now we are basically in the field, which means that there are also opportunity for people who maybe want to specialize in the production of seedling. For example, now you have a company that is just into the production of seedling, so people can see that there are a lot of opportunity here actually in agriculture. So please go. We are really getting it very interesting. Then to who do you sell? Yeah, please.
Yes, so we sell the seedlings they go to the farm, and we also have clients that we sell our seedlings to. So for example, we customize a seedling for the client. So for example, a client wants lettuce 10 grows 10 lettuce, and then they want cucumbers, we'll give. So in it, we split the tray. We have a minimum. So we tell the client that the minimum we can give you is 100 seedlings. And 100 seedlings, a client will then say, okay, this 100 seedlings, for me, I can have 10 of 10 different varieties. Somebody grows for me. All I do is they grow this big and I just transplant, I look after them. So I make it very easy for those clients. So we also are in the seedling selling business. So this product, this small greenhouse that you see here, doesn't only produce for the farm, but it also produces for sale. So this is then, even if we don't sell, we don't waste, it goes back to the farm.
That's absolutely important. We are following you on the train, and it's really important. You know, we're talking about agriculture, and it's as if maybe we are inside a lab. And this is a new way of farming. And why would somebody not be interested in things like this?
Yes. So this is quite an interesting, not only for those who want to go commercial, but even for those who want to grow their seedlings from their house. Now, this area here, you can see, this is the sick area. So we say, now this is where we didn't get enough germination. For example, this whole tray only gave us 1, 2, 3, 4. So we say, okay, what do we do with this? Do we sell it to a customer? So we sell for those that didn't germinate 100%, we sell the seedlings to other clients, for example, because then this is where the problem area we identify these are the seedlings that have sick, they are not germinating well, then we monitor as well. And then this section here, we say, this one, it's the sick section, we need to take care of it. So we also have that ICU department in our seedling department. Then we have now where we have the 100% germination. So you can see here is now a very healthy seedling growing there. Very healthy. Almost 90% germination, not 900 there. And then we have here. So here, and then even this one has been there for a long, this is basil. So when people like basil, we then transplant. You can see this has been transplanted. You see the holes are a bit hollow. We've been transplanting, selling to our clients. And then it's just unfortunate I don't have trays for my clients. I think they have been all sold out of, they haven't started preparing. But this is where we prepare. From here, that's when we take to the farm. And then this is where we mix our nutrients in this drum, and then we water and we feed the seedlings every week. We water every day, we feed once a week. So we also have a feeding program. And also we are also trying to introduce herbs and things like that. So we have this herb section where people now can take a herb to their homes and also have a herb corner. And we sell also this seedling. So I just wanted to demonstrate this to you before I go to my next farm. Any questions?
Not really at this point. No, I have a question. The question here is about the fertilizer. In that,
yes.
So the fertilizer do not come to you already prepared on specific plant, on specific family of plant. They come to you in pieces so that you have to mix it together. Because I was hearing something like mixing the fertilizer, something like that. Can you please clarify that?
Yeah, the type of fertilizer that you need to buy here, you can buy it from any agro store. I mean, this is not a secret. This is soluble fertilizer, okay? You don't need to buy the granules. It's a soluble fertilizer. For example, we have this one here, Easy Grow vegetable. It's water soluble fertilizer. So this is what we use to feed the seedlings. And everything you get nowadays, and the reason why I'm sharing this knowledge is because it's not a secret. It's there. It's in, you can Google it, you can read about it. There's so many online books about it. So you need to have soluble fertilizers because the cocoa peat doesn't provide any, because here it's just like planting, but you need to feed it every day and it needs to be moist. So I prefer this way. Others prefer to sow in soil. I don't feel I have control over that, because sometimes the soil can be too hot. There are worms in there. They eat your soil. So you don't have. So as I said, this is where you count your money. Every seedling counts. You count your money. If you plant in one hole, you know that this one will give me $10. So that's where you start doing your maths. And going forward, you know how much you are going to harvest and how much is going to go to loss. Because it's very important to know how much you are losing and how much you are going to make.
Yeah,
Not all seeds will germinate 100%.
Mm-hmm. So when the people buy this seedling from you, I want to believe that they take it to their plot of land and they plant it there where they harvest it at the end of the day. Is it like that?
They harvest it at the end of the day. For those who are also first timers, I give them a few guidelines in terms of how to sow, the nutrients that they require, because the plant still needs to now go into the soil and develop a root. Now that root needs to be going deep. So you need to really plow your land properly so that when your seedling goes there and the soil around it, it's already soft. So you have to actually prepare your land before you plant. You've got to put your manure, you've got to put your compost, you've got to feed that soil so that when you put in your seedling there, your seedling is not going through a shock to say, hey, I've come out of my womb. Where am I? Where am I? There's nothing. It's just a smooth, it's a smooth transition. You feed, she's got feed here. When you take her out, you have to take her out with a fork. Then the soil is still there because the trays still have nutrients in it. And then as she begins to take over, the soil begins to take over the seed. There's already feed in there. And then the root then takes over and starts feeding the seedling. And if it's too hot, please put some mash over your seedling, your beds, so that there's no direct sunlight coming. But otherwise, it's very easy. It's very easy.
You were saying before that the reason you don't plant in the soil is that sometimes it can be very hot and sometimes it can be very cold, because in that case, you are not in control of it. Can you explain that part again? Because probably what a lot of people do is just plant directly in the soil, and maybe that might have an effect on the kind of yield they have at the end of the day. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, so for example, I will have 10 grams of seeds. 10 grams of seeds, because seeds come in grams, 5 grams, 1 gram, 2 gram, 100 gram, 50 gram. And they're very expensive. Now, when you're planting on the soil, you take your hand and you just spread like this. And you don't know how many you have sown there. You don't have count. So that's number one mistake. Okay. Number two, you cover your soil, you put your grass, you water it. Inside there are also micro insects there, organisms that feed. So you'll find that the seedlings now don't germinate because some insect has eaten it down there. And then sometimes when they germinate, you'll find that there are some worms that come immediately attack and they cut. I'll give you an example of one, which I was really mad. I will tell you what happened here. I even have this even in this greenhouse, and that is where I have a problem. And these problems are good to share. If you see, have you seen this? This insect decided to attack this tray, and she just chopped everything here. Now, this is very common. Here we are able to control and identify that very quickly. When you do your seedlings on the soil, it's very difficult to identify them. You know, so it can either be attacked from the bottom, you see, but here we know that at the bottom here, this soil that we are using, it's a treated one, you see. And you can see it's already developing roots. She's ready to go. And unfortunately, I'm not going to plant this because that's why it's in ICU. We've lost a lot of leaves and all that. So these are the problems that we need to control. But in the soil, if you sow, you can sow so much, but it's very difficult to control, especially when you are planting seedlings that are rarely found and they're very expensive. But also, I do sow in the ground. For example, we have an acre of onions. I have 1 kg of onions. I sow it on the ground, but I have to treat that ground before I sow the ground. So not that it's important, but also if you are in business and you are doing seedlings that are very expensive, like for example, Singeta is a very good tomato brand. I will never take, and they know they come 500 seedlings in that packet of Singeta. It's a very good tomato brand. And when you plant, you can't plant Singeta on the ground. You won't know. You'll germinate 200 instead of 500. If I put Singeta here, it will cost me maybe $35, that seedling, for me to buy. $35, you can't just put it on the ground. This is the process that you need to do. So there are many, it just depends on you as a farmer. But if you want to do it right, this is the right way. So I'm just trying to demonstrate the right way of doing things.
Thank you so much. That is really highly appreciated. So other people that are interested in farming or farming in your own method are definitely getting value from it. They are getting value from it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm now going to take you through the other farm where we now grow the lettuce, especially lettuce in hydroponics does very well. And the advantage of hydroponics, going back to hydroponics, the advantage of growing things in hydroponics is this, okay? There's a lot of control. On how you feed your vegetables, and also the maturity process is shortened. If you plant a lettuce, you harvest it in 8 weeks. In hydroponics, you plant it, you can harvest in 4 to 6 weeks. And the texture of the vegetable in hydroponics is softer because it's like it lives in water, and there's water that you don't deprive. So water is not a problem. You don't deprive the plant from having water. And also growing in hydroponics for us in our system is an renewable energy. So we don't waste. Others water, it evaporates. Our water doesn't evaporate. It's only consumed by the roots itself and very little evaporation. And also man-labor. Now, if I tell you, if I take a picture, I'll just change my camera. There are about 2,000 to 3,000 lettuce. Now, if you imagine planting this on the ground, how much labor do you need? How much money do you to plow the land, to sow the seed, to water, to weed, to put fertilizer? Maybe you need 5 people. Here I have one. One guy manages all this. So this is how it looks. I hope you can see there.
Yeah, we can see. Okay, it's true that the color is fluctuating from time to time, but we're trying to adjust to that.
Okay. So this is the type of lettuce.
I'm already wanting to eat pizza. Eat a salad now.
It is really, really, really fresh.
I can hear
Very,
is.
because lettuce needs to be fresh. So you see, that's how they grow. Just these ones are matured.
This is beautiful.
Look at that.
Wow.
Yes. So you see, I have actually disturbed this one. I think I can't. Her root is so big. I've actually pulled her. I'm actually going to have lunch with
You're
her.
going to take that home for your.
I'm going to take her home for my meal. Isn't she beautiful? She looks like a flower bouquet.
Actually,
Yeah?
absolutely, absolutely.
So anyway, you also with hydroponics, you've got to be very careful. You've got to examine your roots quite constantly, because the roots can easily suffocate, because they also need oxygen. Yeah. So treat a plant like a human being. You need oxygen. We need nutrients. We need food. When we are sick, we need Panadol. So this is the same way a plant also needs to be taken care of. So we have quite a lot of seedlings in different phases of their lives.
Really quite beautiful.
Thank you. So in this, like for example, that spinach there, when we grow, let me take the other angle. When we grow spinach on the ground, we harvest it in 2 to 3 months. Here, it's 6 months. And we have been taking out our spinach. You can see on the ground here, you see, we've been taking out spinach because it's so old, but it's still, see how matured this tree. This is actually a tree. You see, I can't even take it out. I can't even take it out. 6 months, it's just there. We harvest every week, 6 months. So what does that tell you? It tells you that in hydroponics, the advantages are many. Very expensive to set up, but the advantages are many. You grow your spinach, you can forget. You just pluck and harvest and eat.
Now talking of the setup, I think somebody would like to know about that. Can you tell us something about that? Since there are a lot of advantages there, what is about the cost of setting it up while we are still here?
It just depends on your suppliers. These things, I bought them abroad. I didn't buy them in Malawi. They're not locally available. But you can make, I'll tell you what I did, which I haven't commissioned because I haven't had the time. You can even do this yourself. You see these pipes here. These are water pipes. Yeah? These are normal water pipes. You just make holes, and then you set it up with normal pipes. So you can see I didn't have the space I wanted to put on the side here, but I'm having problem with my drainage. I need a good plumber to come and see this for me. I'm not an expert. So I set up this on the side so that I also have vegetables growing on the side, but this was done locally. So you can do it locally with your plumber or your carpenter and things like that. So you can use any kind of pipe, any type of pipe.
And this is very important too, because now, because of the advantages that you listed out of the system, people will think maybe are thinking that no, it is not affordable. But now they can see that according to you, that they can actually set it up even using the normal pipe and all that. This is very important information.
Yes, so you can use any pipe. You can, we can be creative. Google will help you be creative, and then you see your budget. Because I'm not going. They are very expensive. I mean, I wouldn't. If you could say $4,000, it's a lot of money for a startup. You see, so I and then there's also the transportation, and then there's the connecting, then there's a lot. It's quite, initially, it's an expensive setup, but it can be done with local pipes. So for example, for us, these are all local pipes where now there's an inlet and then there's an outlet. So this is the outlet. You can see water is dripping from there. You can see the water is dripping because we had to feed this morning. We fed the plant. So the water goes into the pipe and comes out from here. And then from there, it goes to the main pipe, which is here. And you can see that the water is coming back and it's being recycled. Yes, so this is now our gadgets that measure the pH, the EC. These are the cups they use. So my employees are well trained. They know before I run the engine, let me measure the pH, let me measure the fertilizer. We don't have enough, let's leave the plant. So it's simple as that. And it is in many books. You can go for training, you can read about it, but you can start small as well.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And looking around, do you see some other persons involving in this type of planting in agriculture and agribusiness in Malawi? Because this is a culture that need to extend to other places, of course.
I saw some, but they were not successful. Then I am actually involved with one in the north, but they use my nutrients. They've tried their own nutrients, it doesn't work. So I have my own nutrients that I make and I sell. So that, and then I teach them how to grow. So they came back to me with a leaf bigger than my arm, and they were quite happy with that. So my idea here is to tell the people that I will and I should be able to, in the future, to provide training for this, provide the equipment and the nutrients. If you buy equipment from me, the training is free. So, and then I do your consultation, and then I just provide the nutrients for them to support them. So it's very important. I haven't started that yet, but the moment I start that, I have to have the capacity to provide nutrients and also to provide the gadgets. All these things require gadgets. It's all gadget oriented. It's semi-automated. You need a motor, you need meters, you need pipes, you need, I'm actually going further, connecting sensors and actuators now, and which are actually connected to a server unit, so that when it's time, it's the sensor senses the weather, it automatically opens the valve. So it sends a message to the server analyzes the message, and then the actuator acts. And that is done automatic. But that's a different level now. So, but that's the future also. So I've done all this as a pilot, and I've been successful.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's really interesting. You're looking at this vegetable like this, you feel like you want to start eating salad right away.
And the spinach, we eat it raw. I also make salads with spinach.
But do you eat spinach raw? I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, let me tell you, the amount of water in spinach is amazing. I mean, I make juice at home. For example, I'll make a carrot juice, and I put spinach, carrot, ginger. I don't need sugar. The amount of water that comes from the from the spinach is so, and it's a nutrient that once you take it, you don't need to cook it. There's a lot of vitamins in there. So it goes straight into your bloodstream and it's extracted and it's healthy life.
Wow. Yeah. That is wonderful. It looks like what my wife does sometimes. She basically, she put all this fruit together. I said, well, this one I've never tried it before.
Yeah. So it's all actually eating raw vegetables is the way to go, because you cook it, you kill certain elements that are necessary for our body. So yes, I encourage you to eat raw spinach. You can mix a bit of it in your salads. Okay.
That is great.
So in this air section also, I'm just surprised why my battery is going low. So maybe we need to wind up very quickly. Okay. So this one is a vertical gutter. Now I've bought this because this is where we have our spinach. There. So this is like 12 meters long times going up 6. So it's 12 times 6, that's 60 meters.
Oh. These are also fruits. Sorry, these are also vegetable, all of them.
Yeah, yes. So this is okay, hold on, let me cut. This is 12, this is 2 pipes, that's 12, 12, 12. Yes. And then we don't have the one on the top there. So in this regard, we've just got these little irrigation gadgets here that just drippers. They're called drippers. So they're just connected there, and then it goes right deep into the roots. Yeah.
That's
so we have a yes. Okay.
Wow.
I have a gift here. Right.
But what do you I mean, how do you begin to pack all this knowledge together? Because this is not something that you get at once, no? Because there are a lot of things that are really involved in what you are doing. How do you manage to pack all this knowledge together to be able to understand what you are doing?
It takes time. It took me time. As I said, it's also passion, knowing. I am one person, when I start doing something, I don't want to, I fail so many times, but when I get it, I get it. So I've done all this through the process of learning how to do it. Good morning. I have guests. I'm going through the...
Okay, that's your husband.
Yes, that's my husband.
Beautiful.
Because I just woke up and went straight into this interview, so they must have been looking for me in the house.
They thought
and
you
then
were lost.
Yes. No, they know where to find me, actually. Yeah.
Hello,
greetings. So basically, going back to your question, farming is a learning process. You keep learning every day.
Yeah.
And also for those who want to go for proper training, South Africa offers this training.
That's interesting. And you also said that you offer training, if I'm not wrong about that, right?
Yes, I do.
No, we're going to give you time to eat. It's okay. While you are eating, I will just be talking,
no problem. I was just my kids just brought me something. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to bite.
And you are
but
not
I think
they are going. You're not going to refuse that.
No, I couldn't say no. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking of the training, because the training is very, very important. Because of course, this argument might be just with you just now, but actually it's a bigger argument in that like I already told you, we are talking with some university researchers and people that are into agribusiness. We're looking for a way to feed ourselves, no? So what we need, like you already have pointed out, is that all these things are possible, no? So we just need the right knowledge to be able to to apply in our agricultural process in a way that there is no reason at all that in Africa we should be suffering from food. There should be a lot of food everywhere because the land is so fertile and all that. You know? Of course, we are talking of the agropolis just now, but there are many other opportunities that are out there. So about the training, that is what I'm really like trying to home in on just now. So what opportunities are out there for people who do not know about these things and want to know about them? What opportunities are there for them to train them?
The opportunities are enormous. It's just what is required, especially in Malawi, what I've noted is lack of skills, lack of knowledge. These things are taught in universities, theory, not practical. So I have done the practical side of it. I have learned by doing. I've gone for studies about it. And because I continuously do these things on and on, I'm able to know what is required for these veggies to grow. So knowledge is important. These things are taught in theory, not in practice. So I have the practical side of it. Let the theory side of it be implemented here. So I've run this for 2-3 years now, and it's been quite successful. So that's where I'm saying to myself that no. Going forward, I think I should extend this knowledge for those who are interested. So the opportunities are there because the advantages are enormous. No one wants to have hard labor and also work harder and then harvest less. People want to do things the easy way, the smart way. And this is one element of it.
Very much for that. Is there some other area you want to show us in the farm? Because I can see a lot of beautiful things all around in the farm project.
I'm just trying to see if I don't want to switch off I've got 5% of
Okay. There is no more.
Yes. I'm just trying to charge my phone now. I'm trying to see if I can get a charger to charge my phone whilst talking to you. Yeah. So, those are the things that are actually important for the farmers to know.
And one thing I'm going to ask you, of course, if you manage to have a place to hook it up, is the marketing of it, the marketing of the product. Because if you have a good product, that is already one thing. But to market it to the people in a way that they can know that those products are valuable and then come to pay for the service is a different argument altogether. So yeah, that would be very important to know. Like, how do you go about the marketing to make sure that the right people get the message, and those who are able to afford it, and then they can meet you for the trade.
You've asked about how I go about marketing the vegetables, yeah?
Yeah.
So marketing is also a very huge challenge, especially when you're growing vegetables that Malawians are not conversant, they don't know. So they always ask me, what is pak choy? What kind of spinach is this? How do I grow this? And sometimes I go to the supermarkets, they say, but madam, we won't sell these vegetables, we don't know them. So I said, put it on your shelf for free. So it's a lot of work because I have to understand, how do I sensitize the general public about these vegetables? So I have to go, sometimes others call me, but others that know, they are quite impressive to know, oh, these vegetables in Malawi. So Malawians are used to the normal vegetables, cabbage, kale, carrots, green beans, and the local veggies. So I move away from that. So what I do is I use a lot of social media. I use Facebook, I use my page. I will then cook those vegetables and display them. And I'm also trying to also do something out of fun, so I can invite a lot of followers that I have that can come and cook with me, so that they're able to, I provide everything, the kitchen, the videos, everything, and then we put it in YouTube, how to cook certain vegetables and how healthy they are. Because we are used to cooking vegetables in a certain way, but I can say you can have your vegetables raw. So how do I teach these people how to eat raw? That's part of marketing. Apart from the social media that I use, I also have a market area in Top Mandala, in Blantyre. It's a small restaurant. People go and have a meal there, and after a meal, they'll buy my vegetables and they go, and it's been quite good. Apart from that, I also have contracts with the suppliers, like the off-takers, like the supermarkets, that I also supply vegetables to. I also have restaurants that I supply these vegetables to. So it's very important to have a good supply chain, because not all the chains function the same. So you've got to also understand your market, you've got to understand your target market, you've got to understand your segments, you have to understand how to communicate with them. And if there's a gap, you've got to fill that gap. So marketing is a skill.
Now, another thing I'm trying to understand, of course, it has to do with the trading, like we said before, no? Is that have some other persons come to you to say, like, please teach us how to do this. No, we want to start cultivating also agricultural product like vegetable and things like that. They have come to you to ask you for training.
You know, no one has come to ask. A few people have come to ask me for training. But before they start the training, I've got to say, what do you want to learn? Okay. And then I ask, what do you want to learn? They said, no, I want to learn how to farm and I want to do this. I said, okay, before you want to learn, you have to have a small budget, because if you want to go commercial, then let me work according to your budget. Others will come, they will want to learn, and because they're already doing theirs, they just pick one or two things. But I haven't had, maybe because I haven't established myself, because that is a different business model. Okay. Now, looking at my time, I've got to be very careful. I don't want to commit before I do this, but it is doable. As I said, what I do at the moment is mentorship. I give my people who come to me, I help them with what I know. And if they're already in it, then I can say, no, you are doing it the wrong way, or you're doing it the right way. And then we take it from there. I have those who just want to come and admire, and those are plenty in Malawi. Oh, this is nice, this is nice. And then you ask them, so what have you got? Oh, I'm looking at buying land. They haven't even got the land. They haven't. So this mindset is not yet there. It's people. I don't know. I don't want to say something negative, but the mindset of the people in Malawi, they are still caught up into terms of, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? They're scared of taking the risk to do it.
All right.
So
yeah.
That's when I see, that's why I say there's a gap there. There's a problem. It's knowledge. We need to start extending this knowledge so that they feel comfortable, then they can execute it.
And that is where we're actually interested in that not just one or two or three people do this thing. A lot of people need to be able to do it. All right, I know we have spent some time here now. I know you also need to attend to other necessities in the house now. What would be your conclusion, a kind of encouragement also to other Malawians who maybe want to go into agriculture, or maybe want to take advantage of your own system for their cultivation?
What I would like to tell my fellow Malawians, women, the youth, the gentlemen out there, is that Malawian is a blessed country. And if I, being a woman, working as a senior position and being able to do what I am doing, and I've just shown you one area of what I do. I have the horticulture area, which is also I have 6 hectares that I'm doing. I have 60 pigs. I have a greenhouse that has indoor plants. I sell flower pots. I work. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. 7 responsibilities. 1 man show. If I can do it, you can do it. Yes, it's not going to be an easy journey. For those who are working, you even have an advantage because you have your job, but then you can start small. I'm not saying you should start big. I never started big. Start somewhere. Have a plan of your life. We have everything God has given us. We've just got to use our mind, our heads, in terms of how to really add value to the products that we are already having. There's a Vision 63 that's moving towards technologies and digital transformation. And we are addressing Industry 4.0 into farming. Let's look at that. Let's spend our time learning these things. Over the weekend, spend your time doing something productive. I'm here. From this interview, I'm going to my other farm, and it's a Sunday. Because I didn't go there yesterday, I was busy selling somewhere. Then I'll come back, I'll only have the afternoon with the family. So sometimes it's not as easy as you think, but if you love what you do it. And there is money to be made if you do it the right way. So my appeal to you is let's keep learning, let's keep achieving, and that's the only way out. That's the only hope we have. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sister. I really appreciate that. Thank you. We really appreciate that. I thank to all of you that have stayed to the end of this podcast.